joining in. It's time for us to get to know more about God. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Today we're going to be talking about the kingdom entrepreneur agenda. I said, as a light in the middle of the darkness, even you don't even have to be a light in the middle of the darkness, just any kind of light. It doesn't really matter. But a lot of times when we're lights in the middle of the darkness, I already said that Christ is going to be taking his church, which is the sons of the kingdom and the empaths of our word. It's going to be taking them out of the darkness into his marvelous light, out of the kingdom of darkness into his marvelous light, to reveal to them, to us, his plan for our lives and his purpose for our life, for us to be able to do the work that God has predetermined for us to do on earth. So, as the empath and the light of a world, also the sons of the kingdom, I already said that we are natural leaders and we are entrepreneurs. And because of this reason, when God is taking out of the dark into his marvelous light, it will, as part of this job, as part of his assignment, is it will be giving us the task to steward his resources, to manage his resources here on earth. I already said that these people are Christ focus. These are the focused population that Christ died for. These were the people that were often rejected socially, because of the way they are and because of the way they are spiritually built. I said in the past that this ones over here, which are the murderers, the prisoners, the brokenhearted, those that are lacking knowledge, and those are important in spirit. Those ones are the lost sheep of Israel, and they're lost sheep of Israel because they lack a spiritual identity. And when we lack spiritual identity, it's very difficult for us to be able to abide by the rules of the land and the laws of the land, because we don't understand our own purpose. When we have our own spiritual identity and we understand who we are in God, our identity in Christ, then and we understand our purpose, then it will be easy for us to understand the purpose and the laws of the things that are in our world. But a lot of times, some of us do make it out. A lot of times, we still have majority of the lost sheep in the world. They're everywhere in the world. If you've been through this phases before, it will be easier to recognize those ones that are lost sheep in our world today. But if you haven't been through the phases before, studying the Bible, especially the book of Matthew, Christ pretty much made his point about this ones, and it emphasized that he pretty much came to the world to call out the sinners of his days. It came to the world to have a relationship with those people that are socially rejected in the community, and that's how you can recognize lost sheep. As you continue to study the gospel of Jesus Christ and his principles, it'll be very easy. The Holy Spirit would teach you how to recognize the lost sheep in our world and in our communities. These ones are considered the vulnerable population. They're considered vulnerable population because of the lack of knowledge. A lot of times they're not able to make sound decisions that would be beneficial to their life. A lot of times they make decisions that cost them their lives. A lot of decisions that get them to be sentenced to life imprisonment. A lot of decisions that could get them to have a lot of comorbidities like obesity, communicable disease, a lot of diseases that could be prevented when there's enough education. But a lot of times they can't have that protection because they're lacking that knowledge. So what we're doing as a light of as in the middle of darkness is God is going to be giving us a job to do. He's going to be giving us a way to be able to provide for this ones, a way to be able to educate this ones, a way to be able to share God's love and God's truth with them. A lot of times the way God does it is, besides the church system, he does it through market. Market is another institution that is created by God, and it does have to do with business. Some great entrepreneurs in the Bible is King Solomon. It was very known among in his days for being a very knowledgeable man, a man that that had great knowledge, that a lot of entrepreneurs all over the world were coming to visit King Solomon, trying to get his advice and his wisdom on how he was able to become the richest man on earth. On earth. Another entrepreneur in the Bible was definitely the Proverb 31 woman that was a housewife, and this is the ideal woman that every godly man wants. Uh, this woman was also an entrepreneur. She made her own linens at home and she sold it to people, and she made money to help her to support her husband. Um, so there are a lot of other entrepreneurs in the Bible, but these are like the top ones that I can remember from my head right now. Um, and so as he's going to be taken out of the dark into his marvelous light, I already said that it would require of us to be able to steward the things that he will be providing for us. God is known as a provider. So even though a lot of times when we're getting out of that dark moment, a lot of the majority of the entrepreneurs that I've come to change our word now, but we've known in history, a lot of the entrepreneurs actually get to a point where they call rock bottom, a point where they don't have anything, that they have to start all over again, and it's very natural for that to happen, for the entrepreneurs to be at the rock bottom stage, especially because of us. I already said that as the Church of Christ, we'll have to go through a whole lot of this so we can understand the importance of caring for those ones that are rejected by the society. If you've never lacked anything before in your life, it'll be very easy to be insensitive to anyone that would ask you for money, or you may not, a lot of times we may not even see the need for why you we may see other people as, okay, well, you have hands, you can't, why can't you work, and why can't you why can't you provide money for your family, or why can't you be a businessman like I am, or something like that. But a lot of times when we actually get to a point where we lack, we understand that a lot of people may not be able to provide for themselves, or based on the resources, there may not be a lot of resources to, or there may not be a lot of jobs to even be able to put food on the table for some people, like those that are living in the third world countries. A lot of them are actually very knowledgeable, a lot of them are smart, a lot of them are intelligent, they could actually own their own businesses themselves, but they don't have the advantage, they don't have the resources, they don't have the opportunity to be able to do so, they don't have jobs to be able to put food on the table. So poverty is not something that was their is not something that is their choice. It's just they're just pretty much there, they're just pretty much in poverty because they don't have the government systems that would, that would help them, that would create jobs for them. So it's unfortunate that a lot of people are stuck in this stage, especially in third world countries. But then as God's church, as God's entrepreneurs, He trusts us to be able to provide for this ones. A lot of times when we get out from this from this from this post of being rock bottom, we, of course, the devil is going to lure us with money, and we may not necessarily take money from the devil. We may actually create business for ourselves, because when we do get out of the dark into the marvelous lost light, we understand that there is a need out there that needs to be met, and that's what entrepreneurs do. They look for a need in the community that can be met, and when they see that there's a need in the community, then they provide, then they create companies, or they create products that will help to meet that need in the community. They create solutions that will help to meet that need in the community. And sometimes, yes, we create that product, we create that company that majority of these ones will have to buy from. They'll have to buy something from us. they're already poor, they have to buy something. If they're already lacking knowledge, they'll have to buy something from us. But as entrepreneurs, what Christ really wants us to do, being kingdom minded, the kingdom mindset that Christ wants us to have is that as we're giving, as we're taking from this ones that don't have enough to give, what are we giving back to them in return? Yes, they're going to be buying products. Yes, they're going to be a part of the company. They're going to be. They may even be workers in the companies. And let's not forget, they already have a majority of them have a decreased level of perception, and the processing of the word, the way the word is being processed is a bit um it's different from other people. For the majority, for majority of the people, I already said the lordship of Israel, they kind of process information differently because their eyes have been shut and their ears have been shut, so they can only understand things in the fifth senses, and that's why God was explaining things to the Israelites uh, by with the things, just by the things that they could see in their words. So a lot of those things we have to keep in mind, and we have to keep in consideration that if these ones are going to be working in the company, then we have to have a way to put informations in our systems that will help them to be able to understand what they're doing, or the job that they're going to be doing, whether it's visual education, a lot of things, which is fifth senses, visual education, things that, whether it's science, post bots. So it's very easy for them to be able to navigate and work peacefully in the company that are going to be created. Other things to consider regarding these ones that are vulnerable in our community and in our world is to observe what the social issues that are currently going on in our world right now, the social issues regarding our community. So I'm black, so I'm going to assess what's going on in my community regarding this ones. Like, let's say, definitely, I don't want to say this because I'm just gonna save this comment for later on. I don't think I'm ready to talk about it yet, but there's some social issues that are going on right now in our community. The type of businesses that we actually create, when we think about it, is it taking away some of the social issues, or is it adding to the social issues that we already have in the community? Um, and I want, maybe I should just say it so you can understand it. I'm talking about the beauty industry. So many, a lot of times we're a lot of us are just in this beauty, makeup, hair, all those things that I believe a lot of other entrepreneurs are hiding to the issues. I'm kind of whispering that. I don't want to talk about it yet. So when we assess those issues, are they hard into it, or they're taking at the companies that are being created, are they hard into the social issues of, are you proud of wearing your hair? Are you proud of the way you look? Do you feel like a natural woman without having a whole lot of excessive things? And that's kind of personal. Like, everyone has their own choices of how they want to look, which I can control. But when we see the generation, when we think about the generations after us, we have to put that in consideration. That what are we trying to look like to them? Again, I'm gonna have to talk about this later. Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking about that for now. But yeah, we need to assess the need, the problems. As entrepreneurs, we're supposed to be providing solutions, not creating more problems. So when we have a business idea, we need to really think about if it's kingdom minded, if it's going to hurt, or if it's going to take away. Because majority of these ones are already lacking in knowledge, so we don't want to add to the lack, you know. And a lot of the people in this population are always wanting to feed into those ones over here. We always want to fit in with this ones over here, you know. That's why you have people wearing fake Gucci belt, fake fake bags or fake all that just to fit in with the world, and all that's not necessary if we're already poor, if we're already trying to 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 get more money from fruit stamp and stuff like that. Uh, Another thing that I want to say about the entrepreneur kingdom agenda is that the whole way is make money, and make sure that you pay your tithe and all of that. But there's a new way now. There's a new way now that I think a lot of actually new companies that have started are actually already implementing. And the new way now is that the companies should not only focus on creating on getting more profit, like, oh, it's all profit, so you have a profit margin. Of course you have to think about your profit margin when you're putting a product out there. And a lot of times as entrepreneurs you're only focus we it's easy, I mean it's kind of natural to focus on the profit, because definitely you do want to make some type of profit to be able to buy more and sell more to the population right here. And it could be both, it could be actually both populations, could be people right here or people right here. But a lot of times the best way, because we are world changers, the new way is that we should also think about having a social purpose to our business. Like, what is the purpose that is what purpose is our business or our company serving in the community? Because we the company may not necessarily be in a building, maybe like an online company or whatever company that is being started, but is it, what issue, what solution is it bringing to the world, and how is it helping this ones over here? The purpose, what social purpose is it, it's being implemented. Like we could also like money could be made, profit can be made, but can we also do good at the same time while we're making profit? Can we educate at the same time while we're making profit? Can we provide more jobs while we're making profit? Can we sanitize our environment, the environment that our business are being are being planted in? Can we sanitize those environment? Can we reach out to those ones that are not able to afford school? Can we give some school loans? Can we can we uh can we give help benefits? Some people don't have insurance because they're already poor. you know can we do some type of orphanage programs? Like, what type of social purpose is it serving besides just making profit? And that's how we change our world. Because people buy from businesses, people work in businesses. So it's still a lot. It still has to do with a lot of about the family system, because you know the family systems make the business. Not one person cannot just it can't be just one person running a business. It has to be people that see your vision, they see where you're going, and they key into it, and they want to serve their community that way. And why they're serving they are serving by working your company. How are you serving them back? So that's the social purpose that I'm talking about. And also some type of charity. Like Bill Gates, he has a program with his wife. And they're trying to elevate. They're trying to deal with malaria. In the mostly in the third world countries, but it's kind of all over the world. But they're more focused on the third world countries right now. So yes, Bill Gates has a lot of money and he's into softwares and computer and all that, but he's still also serving a social purpose by dealing with other things that could affect the world. Because it's not just, yes, someone can have a business in the United States, right? We have a business in a country, but we also have to think about how we can change the world, like have a global view of how businesses could affect the world or change the world. you know. Um, so regarding being an entrepreneur, as we're going to be coming from the dark into his marvelous light. Of course, a lot of us may not even have an idea of what entrepreneurship is about. We may not even have an idea of what business is about, because we may not, like, I didn't study business, never went to business school, but now I know a whole lot about running a business from just reading books and 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 studying, and just studying and listening to lectures online and things like that, of which I'm going to share with you as well. So um, we're going to be the information that I'm trying to share with you is that you don't necessarily have to go to a business school to learn how to be a trader, or to learn how to sell and buy and create a company for yourself, a company that will change the world, and provide jobs in the community. Valuetainment is one of my, like, my YouTube, like my top YouTube channel that I actually go, like, I'm always on Valuetainment, honestly, like literally every day watching Valuetainment video, and it's by this immigrant from Iran. It's called Patrick Bet David. He lived in California and relocated to Dallas, and he runs a life insurance company. And he believes that entrepreneurs don't necessarily have to be born. I said, like, as light and the empaths, you know, we have that natural ability to be leaders and entrepreneurs. But he believes that entrepreneurs can actually be trained, and entrepreneurs can learn how to trade. They can learn how to be great entrepreneurs just by being committed to learning how to be one, and also reading books. So each shared by, you don't necessarily have to go to school like Harvard school or any business school to be a great entrepreneur. It believes that you can read a whole lot of books and apply the principles in those books, and be humble and be kind, and be dedicated to wanting to be a success. And he doesn't think making money, although he does talk about money a lot, which is good. It's not a bad thing to talk about money, and it's not a bad thing as a as a child of God to have money. It's not a bad thing. People say you either have money, or you're either a slave to money or you're a slave to God. Well, God doesn't object to us having money. I'll say that again. God doesn't object to Christians having money. It's just the motive behind that money is what God is really trying to let us know, that if your mind is all over money, if you're after, I want to make money, then money is going to make you. God, money is going to make you, and the devil is going to make sure that he lures us with that. But if our mind is on money, and our mind is on also helping people, and our mind is also on managing God's resources, of course God is going to bless us to be able to for us to be able to prosper in on our ways. And Valuetainment believes that Valuetainment, which is Patrick Bet David, he believes that you can make money, but success doesn't necessarily have to be money. Success is about how much impact you have in the world, how much influence you have in the world, how your story or how your experience or the things that you're doing can change the lives of people. This one's over here, they don't have a whole lot more. So it's more about impact and the influence that your company or your business is having in the world, what change is taking place in the world. So if you follow this guy, and you know you do want to meet him one day, I believe that that's what it's focused on you being an impact in the world, not just not just showing up to him and be like, oh, you know what, I made $300,000 just by watching your video. I don't think he's more concerned about that. And I figure all of that just by watching this video. I wish I would meet him one day. But yeah, but that's it. And then you can go over. I'm going to share a link down below where you can actually go on his website and see the list of his books. It has like a hundred top 100 books that he listed on his website, and he also has like a like top 10 books that he listed on his website. I've bought like 10 the top 10, and I've read all the top 10, and I've applied all the top 10 books to my life, and I find it really, really, really helpful. Like, you need to read books to understand what business is about. You need to read books to have a much practical view, practical understanding of what business is about, because business is not just about money. Business is about you're going to be dealing with a lot of people's personality, different personalities, different backgrounds, and diversity and all that stuff. As for you to be a great entrepreneur, you need to understand human behaviors and all that stuff to be able to run a great business, and to be able to steward God's resources even much better when you're reading books. So I'm going to share it down below. Please make sure that you actually invest. If you're investing in a business, you want to make sure that you're investing in knowledge, in investing in great knowledge and great wisdom that other people have experienced, other people have shared in books to help you become a better entrepreneur. Um, the other thing I want to talk about is Kiva loans that change lives. A lot of entrepreneurs in the past, they've done, you know, they've run programs like, sending $1 to kids in the third world countries, sending $1 to Africa, or to help a kid that is suffering in Africa, send some clothes to Africa, or send something to Africa to help people that are not able to afford things, and that's by giving them money, giving them cash, you know. But things are changing now. Things are changing now in our world, and there is a new program which is called Kiva. And I'm not paid to talk about all this. I'm not paid to talk about Valuetainment. I'm not paid to talk about Kiva, but I'm just going to talk about it because I actually think the idea is actually great. It's phenomenal. Kiva is a program. It's a micro lending program. And micro lending programs and micro lending, not programs. They're also companies actually. It runs like a bank, but it's not really a bank. It's smaller, but micro lending companies have been around for a while. I think the first person that actually did a micro lending program in Africa was from Ghana. Was from Ghana. I don't know her name, but she was a Ghanaian that first started the micro lending program in Africa. But Kiva it's a new program that pretty much loans people in third world countries, and this is not just in Africa, but third world countries, where you can loan farmers a few amount of loans, and you don't have to have a whole lot to help someone in third world countries. You can have just like $25. You can have $5 and add it to a loan, to someone's loan. A lot of farmers will post like, I need $500 to raise 3 cattle, to feed a family of 4. Some people actually are in groups. Some people they need a loan to start a clinic in a village in some part of Africa. I mean, those things are actually very necessary for a community to survive, especially people, these ones over here, that are needing health care, that are needing some type of resource, some type of thing, something to help them to live longer. So Kiva is a program that actually helps with that, where you can give out loans, and it's great because the money it comes back to you. If you're lending it, so you get it back. That's a great thing, that instead of giving to people, some people say helping actually hurts, and I believe it does hurt sometimes. Helping hurts. When helping hurts, because sometimes people are poor. It's like just the food stamps in United States. Some people actually misuse this food stamps. They misuse it a lot. you know some people it causes obesity. Some people it doesn't. Some people actually will sell it to other people. So in everything there's always abuse for everything. But in Kiva, the great thing is you get your money back. So you're not really giving someone money. Sometimes people feel embarrassed by asking for money or trying to ask someone that, hey, I'm broke, I need money. People feel embarrassed for asking. And some people, when you do give it to them, they actually don't use it for the purpose of which they've asked the money for. So some people will actually use it for other things besides using it to better their lives, you know. So it hurts sometimes when you see that happen, that you send money to some people and some people are directing the fund to their own personal pockets, or some people are not even, they're not using that money to support themselves, you know. So uh they've changed that. They've changed that because when you're trying to help someone and they're not trying to help themselves, and or it hurts, it's hurting them more than you're helping them, then Kiva is like that great program that you don't have to worry about if someone is using the money for what they're supposed to use it for, because Kiva is going to make sure that you get the money back. And not only do you get the money back, you can actually give the money you can loan the money to somebody else that needs to start or establish a business with just a few dollars. Like 20, some people actually wanted $25 just to start their own business, to be able to put food on the table for their family. And it's amazing how that little money can change someone's life. And the amazing thing is you still get your money back. That's what I want to say. You still get your money back. Um, so that's something that if you're thinking of starting a business, you may want to consider. It could also be used in the church system, where if church can have like a church group, and your church will actually donate money to those ones over there in the third world countries. So it doesn't necessarily you don't have to have a business to be a part of Kiva. You can actually you can be a church group and still be able to change other people's life with with Kiva with Kiva micro lending loan thing. Uh, so yes, about taxes. So with entrepreneurs, we have to definitely follow to the laws and the authorities in our land. Yes, we do have a much higher spiritual authority, but we still have to obey the laws and the authorities in our land. And Jesus said, when the Pharisees and the Sadducees tested him, those were the law experts and those were the professionals of those days. They were testing Jesus Christ as to would he allow his disciples to pay taxes. And Jesus responded to them, give to Caesar what is due to Caesar, and give to God what is due to God. So you're going to be giving tithes to God, give tithe to God. If you're going to be giving your taxes to the government, give your taxes to the government. And that's why Christ is saying that I don't think I came to take away any of the laws or tell the prophets to stop prophesying. I actually came to fulfill the purpose of the law. So he emphasized that point, that even we're not above the law, we're not above the authorities. We still have to obey the laws of the land, and we still have to obey the people and authorities in our physical world. And whatever country you are in, there are definitely laws that are controlling the businesses in the community, or the country that you reside in. So some entrepreneurs are called stakeholders in countries, and they're known as stakeholders because they actually control majority of the resources that the country has to be able to sell to international countries, to be able to trade with other countries. Like, let's say Nigeria has to trade with China, or China has to trade with the United States. Those companies are there because they control a lot of the things, that a lot of our jobs, a lot of our products, a lot of the things that we enjoy in our country. Without businesses, there won't be a lot of international things, like having computers delivered to a third world country that can produce or manufacture computers, or having cars delivered to a third world country that can really produce cars, or even United States will have to, they deal with export and import and all that stuff. They don't have a lot of companies in United States. They have to order a lot from other countries like Germany or China. So a lot of those companies are definitely regulated by the government. They have to be regulated by the government, and they have to be able to abide by the laws of a government. Now the thing is, I already said some of the lights in the window of darkness. We are pretty much all over the place. We're in the family system. We're in the church system. Some of us, like Daniel, we are in the government. We're in the government system, helping out those, the people, helping out the presidents, helping out the governments, helping out the governors make better decisions that are going to be concerning the entrepreneurs or the stakeholders. Because a lot of times, let's say like we have the presidents and stuff like that. President, they usually, a lot of times, of course, they do care about this ones. Majority, many times. I'm not gonna say Nigeria, but a lot of them do care about this ones. But then again, the thing is, we can, there has to be a balance of there have to be a balance in the laws that are being, in the new laws that are being passed, in the bills that are being passed, in the policies that are being passed to regulate the business and the trading in the countries, in the country. So there has to be a balance between meeting the needs of those ones and also meeting the needs of the stakeholders, like the entrepreneurs. Because when the bills and the policies that are being passed are not being evaluated properly by those that are in control, or those that are in the position to be able to sign a bill or pass a document, then it would affect everybody. Honestly, it would affect everybody. Like, if it's not being properly assessed, if it's not in favor of this ones, the entrepreneurs and the citizens that can't afford, they don't have a whole lot. If it's not in the favor of both parties, then it affects everybody. It affects the entire country. So because we're here in the government, we have to also be looking out for the bills and all the things that are being passed, and be able to influence those that are in position to help them to make better decisions. Just like Daniel, that's our role. We're just playing the role of Daniel, just trying to say, hey, you know what, King Darius, you may want to consider doing this or doing that, because it's going to be affecting the lights working over here, trying to help to meet this needs of this ones over here. Don't ignore this ones. Yes, they may have some money, but it doesn't mean that the money they have is not the money they have. The money they have shouldn't affect the decisions that are being made regarding in regards of meeting the needs of these ones. So I hope it's not too confusing for you if you don't really know what business is about. It's very easy when you actually start learning about business yourself. You get all these things, and the Holy Spirit. Thank God, the Holy Spirit is always there to teach you how all these things work. The Holy Spirit is going to teach you how all these things work. So that's why I have to continue to emphasize that intimacy with God is like the best thing to have. Is to pursue that kingdom. As the book of Matthew says, don't worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear tomorrow. Just seek after the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added unto you. As you continue to seek God's kingdom, all this knowledge, all those things I'm sharing with you, you're going to know it. You won't have to even watch a video if you have intimacy with God, because the Holy Spirit will teach you all this things I'm teaching you. Other things to learn about business will be economics. Definitely, you need to understand the laws of demand and supply and all that, and marketing, sales, and all that stuff. And I have another YouTuber to share with you, Khan Academy. Now, Khan Academy is new. I think Khan Academy started like 3 years ago. I'm not sure, but I think Khan Academy it just it's not it's out there, but it's not really out there. It's a digital learning program that is free and accessible to anyone. So if you're in any third world country, you want to learn anything new, anything that you don't really, maybe you don't have money to go to school, but you have dreams. You want to be a doctor. You want to be a pharmacist. You want to be a banker. You want to be a business person. Whatever it is that you want to be, Khan Academy has like digital teaching programs where you can go on YouTube, just just type Khan Academy, KHAN, and just Academy, and it has like a lot of digital teachings. They're not so long. A lot of them are like 6 minutes, 7 minutes each, and just take a time each day, 6 minutes of your time each day to learn something new, something that you may not even want to learn. Like I'm in the medical field, but I learned like a whole lot of things that I don't even I don't even think I want to learn. But after, it's just you're having more knowledge each day. You're having more knowledge each day, and Khan Academy has made it so easy. It made education accessible to everyone in the world, easy. If you have internet, and I know it's kind of difficult when you're in the third world country to have internet, but if you do have internet, or if the only thing you can invest in is internet right now, then invest in that to learn and get educated. To get educated, a lot of the things, yes, all those institutions are created by God. A lot of people think that you have to go to school, you have to go to Harvard, you have to go to Oxford, you have to go to a school building to learn or get educated, but that's actually not true. Whatever it is that you desire in your heart, that you want to be something, you want to be someone in life, God is giving you an idea about something. You don't have money to be able to go to school. Go online. There's so many resources online. I'll tell you what, Google is your friend. And besides Google, there's so many free resources on YouTube. YouTube is like the best education platform we can ever ask for. You may not have money to buy books. I understand that. You may not even be in a place where access books, or you're in a place where they don't have libraries or things like that. But go on YouTube, instead of watching how to make contour your face, or how to, a lot of irrelevant things that I'm not going to judge people about, but take time each day to learn something new. And those resources are free. People are actually online doing what I'm doing right now. I'm teaching you about God. Some people are teaching about a lot of different things, and they're doing it free of charge. They actually put in their time and they put in their effort to share their knowledge with you, with the world. Knowledge is power, but actually sharing of the knowledge that you have has much power, because you're impacting someone else's life and you're influencing someone else's life with the knowledge that you have. You don't want to keep it to yourself. So a lot of the things I learned from other YouTubers. I learned from watching other people talk, and it's helped me. I apply it to my life, and it's helped me so much. So I'll tell you what, I just love this man right here, Violet Timmy. I watch him like literally every day. I just listen to him. I read all the books that he recommends, and it's helped me so much. So a lot of times, a lot of those people share all those things that would help us. When you also get to that point where you actually become successful, don't fail to share the things that you know with the world. Is this the way I think about it? If people never share what they know to help you when you didn't have anything, then they won't be, it won't. You'll probably still remain wherever you are. Maybe you're rock bottom right now. People never shared their truth. They never shared any knowledge to help you to be able to go from grass to grace. Then you probably, a lot of us will remain here, because a lot of the church in the middle of darkness will have to go through this stage. But a lot of times we God orders our steps, God orders our mind to be directed to people that have shared knowledge in the past that could help us, that those that have shared their experiences in books that could help us to be able to become a success in the world. If those people never share their knowledge, if those people never shared their experiences, if those people never made any effort to give to people that don't have that knowledge, then we'll probably still be here. So what I'm encouraging and what I'm trying to say is, when you do get to that point where you've made it, don't forget that there's still some people over here that are still lacking knowledge, and they can benefit from the knowledge that you have, like how you made it, what happened, what you did, what books you read, and things like that. Because a lot of times people actually do make it, and then they start being condescending to a lot of people, like, hey, I've made it now, so you know they just talk to people anyhow. But don't be like that. Don't be like that, because a lot of people cared enough cared enough to share their knowledge with you. They cared enough to want to mentor you to become better. Then the torch has to be passed down. It has to be passed down, where you have to give it. You have to mentor some other people. You have to share those truths. Those You have to encourage other people to be able to make it too. Okay, so let's talk about tithes. God is definitely going to bless the work of our hands as we continue to have faith and we continue to trust Him. It says, don't forget the tenth. It's not much. It's not much that is requiring of us. That yes, it's going to be the provider that will provide for us to be able to steward His resources to be able to help us ones, right? And and He also expects us to give back to the church, give back to the church, give back to the church system, give back to these ones. Give back to them. And as we do that, we continue to increase our produce. We continue to it will do the sales for us, it will do the marketing for us as we continue to give to His church. And I think that's it on this topic. The Kingdom Entrepreneur Agenda is, just to wrap up on what I've said, is to change lives, to make a difference in our community, for our businesses to serve a social purpose, for us to consider the perception level of the ones that we're going to be selling to, for us to be giving something back in form of either education, either benefits, or something that can help our community, to those ones that are buying from us. Also, for us to be able to assess the social issues that are currently in our world right now, because social issues are either created by entrepreneurs. A lot of social issues are created by those that are selling the wrong products. For those ones that are lacking knowledge, like, they don't need that product to live and survive. But entrepreneurs can change the world. But if they're under the kingdom of devil, they don't understand their roles, and then they can either change the world for good, or they can either change the world for bad. I'm hoping that you'll be that great entrepreneur that will change God's word, bring God's agenda right here on earth, and change it for good. And change it for good. So that's it. That's it on this topic. That's it on this topic. Hey, don't forget to check my website, Bernard. I need to do a little more marketing. If someone wants to help me with marketing, I would greatly appreciate it. I have an online business and I want someone to help me. I want the word to be out there. So if someone wants to help me do marketing, I would greatly appreciate it. For free though. I would greatly appreciate it. So love you guys, and